Well, everybody, it's gone full on bat guano crazy in a mighty wind and Torahkeeperville. I'm going to see if I can somehow check comments. Forgive me for a second before we get into this, but I got a little free time. Everyone's left the office. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Good Friday, which is a great day to think about what God did for us, dying on the cross and saving us from our sins. But what makes this relevant now, since I have time, I've been wanting to talk about this forever, but now we're heading into Passover tonight, and I wanted to talk about this new faction that's come out of Amightywind. I think we've already talked about Torahkeeper. Some of Elizabeth's most faithful have definitely gone off the reservation now. The Civil War has hit big time. So let me see if I can go to. I wanted to go to the live stream, so forgive me in case anybody comes in. It's live, and I want to be able to give you a chance to come in, and we can certainly talk about it. I have a phone number down below. It's 818-527-4955. I think I should probably boot up my Skype, which is what that number is. And if you see this message live and you want to call in, I'll try and make reference to it in the future. And if you can go ahead and go in the comments if you'd like to join me. Hold on one sec. I think I'm the only one that's watching right now. I'm sure there'll be people that'll check this out later. And I don't want to be too boring if I can prevent it. Want to make sure that the sound. And if you're. Oh, see, I knew it was going to start showing up. Let's put this into position so I can see chat. YouTube has just changed their format all over the place. I can't figure out what's going on here. There we go. All right. Now I can see chat if necessary. And I think we'll start. I've seen snippets of these videos. I'll start with where I intended on going. Last week, Elizabeth put out an alarm warning signs on her website that it's put up or shut up time. You're one toe away from reprobate, Ezra. And she did this whole hour-long video, and I went through it. But the long story short is I wasn't sure if Elizabeth had paid attention to what was going on. The 3 days of darkness prophecy that's supposed to happen now, this week. 3 days of darkness. I'm saying darkness in the day. God's doing this. And I'll have Nathan here give us the preparation. Tell you where they're coming from. This is the Torahkeeper side. But I also wasn't sure if Elisheva was knowledgeable of the crazy stuff that's coming out of Torahkeeper right now. Crazy. To just give you an example, and we maybe in this video, if there are people that show up, we might take a look at the Torahkeeper website. As an example, there's now 4. There's no Trinity. It's a quadri. Jesus, it's been revealed, has a twin sister at the left hand of the mother. You know, we're still dealing with Mother God, Ima Yah, that Amightywind believes, and Ezra and Torahkeeper has taken that to the next level, baby. Rest assured, though, they put on their website, and we'll take a look at that maybe later, that's not a salvation issue, fortunately. So thank you for that, Ezra. I guess there might be some people in-house of the 14 or so that are in the Torahkeeper faction, the rebel force, if you will, from Amightywind that's now factioned off. It seems that some of those folks have, well, maybe a few of them don't believe. Uriah is the name. And I thought this was my joke. I made it before, but Elizabeth makes it in her hour-long thing. Urea is actually the urine component in the blood. I don't think God would choose that name. The urine goddess, I think, is what Elizabeth said. And sorry, urine goddess, because the one thing they said that is wrong is on the main page is it's not salvation to believe in urea, but you can't blaspheme the fourth member of the Godhead. So let's have Nathaniel, I think is his new name, tell us a little bit about the 3 days of darkness.
Hello, I'm making this video here to pass on a very serious and urgent warning. This is not a hoax. This is not a joke.
No joke.
There will be coming during this Passover season 3 days and 3 nights of absolute darkness. The Lord Yahushua HaMashiach has been giving warnings, dreams, prophetic words about what is coming. Passover starts on Friday the 19th at sunset, and for that week until the 27th is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. There will be, during that time frame, 3 days, 3 nights of darkness. During this time, portals from hell will open up, and the demons, the fallen angels, aliens, basically the army of the devil will come forth through them. And if you do not take the necessary precautions, well, it is sad to say, but many will perish. Life on this planet Earth, this world will never be the same after this ever again.
Wow.
There won't even be a pretense. It won't happen. A pretense of life as usual, as if nothing happened.
Okay, let's just get right into it. Now, you can imagine Amightywind, a bunch of people. We can take a look. You're going to see a young lady. This is another story, actually, I'm pretty excited to reveal. But to get to the nitty-gritty, it's not going to happen. And the whole world knows it's not going to happen. That's why they're not getting a heck of a lot of attention. But the big mystery for me is when it doesn't happen. When, in other words, we get a bunch of days like that, which are behind me with light, and there's not going to be any darkness, 3 days of darkness worldwide, and no signs of portals opening up. Well, let me get to where I think they're going to go. The only place they can go is the other claim is that portals are going to open and demons are going to come, and what'll happen is, if I had to guess, I would say that 2 things will happen. One, Ezra and crew is going to claim that their massive prayers and fasting, you should see Lawkeeper 101, they've been fasting. He can't hide it because he's like skin and bones right now. That their fasting and praying stopped it from happening. That's one. And 2, they'll say like the portals opened and there was so much light in the portals that the darkness was hidden, or it was some kind of government conspiracy. Something that'll come out to say that the darkness did happen, but there were lights that deceived all. Something like that. There's one of the 2 things. I think it's probably going to be the first, that their prayers worked, but they couldn't keep everybody out, but they saved the world. That's the only thing that I can imagine that'll happen for them to sustain, because it's not going to happen. If you want me to pretend, I'm going to pray to the urine goddess, Urea, right now. Urea, holy Urea, now that I know you're there, don't let this happen, Urea. Urea, you guard the gates and portals, and you smack down those demons in the name of Mommy God and Shekinah glory and Sukkah Sukkah Kianakata Kianakata Sukkah Sukkah Kianakata Kianakata Adonai. Don't let it happen. It could very well be the prayer that I just made, is preventing the darkness from happening. But back to beautiful Catherine Yah right here. Probably here. I think it's reversed. I thought something happened to her. So it was a pleasure to see her come out. And why, to go on this side story, when the Amightywind birthday came, the 25th birthday, April 4th, there was no Catherine Yah, and there were a couple videos from Adam, Catherine Yah's betrothed soulmate. And when I saw that, and it looked like he was living in a mobile home, RV, and I thought, oh no. Catherine Yah, who he mentioned in one of the videos, his beloved, she passed on. And I felt kind of sad about that. And there was no reference to it. But she's not, she's okay. Let's see what she had to say here. 1431. She's holding out hope. She's making fun. She wants to have tea with her little tea hat, making fun of Ezra, like a lot of the Amightywind side is. That's the part of the Battle of Mount Carmel here. And so let's see what Catherine has to say.
Which will not come to pass.
The 3 days not come to pass.
And we pray that the demon of pride will be weakened that day. And the real Caleb, who we still pray,
the real Caleb's Ezra,
will come forth through Ezra. And he will someday get prophecies, but he hasn't gotten any yet. And he needs help. He needs major prayer. And that's what we're doing. And yet we also want to warn against his delusion, which is what this word is, this false prophecy, that there'll be 3 days of darkness, that you can't go out of your houses now. Apparently also could be 7 days, could be 14 days now. Some of his entourage are saying, well, it could be another day. That's stupid. When does God say, thus saith the Lord, oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's another time. He's going to look very foolish. He already looks very foolish. And our prayer is that the demons of pride, Pharisee, religion, rebellion, Pharisee, everything that he carries with him from his childhood, from his own disobedience and rebellion, from the false prophecy he's been associated with over his years, that he will that they will be weakened, that he will come out of agreement with them and get delivered from them, if possible.
So they're revealing stuff again. There's always secret messages in what they say. God, if I was a part of this ministry, I'd be so scared to be, because, part of maybe fellowship and accountability is sharing in some of your life struggles. And if you share your life struggle with anybody in this ministry, man, you're screwed, because they're going to end up revealing it at some point in time if you get into a fight. So it's all happening right now on the other side of the coin. We have, oh my goodness, let me see if I can drag something in here. Some great Lawkeeper videos on the Lawkeeper 101. You got to see what's going on over there, because now they're coming out and talking about all this stuff about Elisheva and condemning gossip, condemning all of those things they say they condemn. And then I didn't know all this stuff, and they're starting to come out and talk about it. You see a lot of them. She's Bat El, I think. Bar El, some kind of El. It's like Jor-El. It's like Superman going on over there right now. It's like Ezra is Kal-El, and I don't know. I can't really explain, but there's some really juicy stuff going on this channel right now. They've got this section, Fallen Elizabeth Elijah, Fallen Amightywind. One of the latest prophecies, there's like a ton of prophecies happen at Torahkeeper. You got to read some of them, but one of the latest is Yah herself has left the Amightywind building. She's gone. One of the prophecies, I'll go off so many tangents, but I think this prophecy was from Nathan. It's fairly recent, where Yah, when she says that she's leaving, she makes some comment like how she knows all, and you can't surprise her. And it's like, well, I guess you can, because this was their ministry, and where Yah revealed herself for the first time to the world through Yah's chosen ministry. She she knew that Elizabeth was going to become fallen and reprobate. I don't know how that goes, but juicier stuff. See, this is all gossip stuff that we're getting from there. On their channel that condemns gossip, a couple things. Elizabeth Elijah is bedridden and has been for a while, according to Skinny Lawkeeper 101. And Shimon Simpson, I think is his name. What's her name? Well, Rosie, and she was like daughter of Yah or something like that. If you remember her, and she married this Asian dude. Well, it came out in one of these videos. Actually, let's watch one.
Again, so as you can see, I have a number of things that I want to talk about, and these things are real, detailed testimonies. This is not just someone looking from the outside. This is someone, again, who is part of Amightywind ministry.
He's on the inside.
He knew Elizabeth Elijah for 10 years.
10 years.
He saw the behaviors and saw the conduct and everything else that...
Here's the thing. He's talking about saw the behaviors and conduct. It's like now. It's only been a few months, but it's been going on for 10 years, according to this guy. He made a video against me that falsely witnessed against me, used a picture of my family, never apologized for it, never did anything. And yet, now everything's wrong. He claimed there's a prophecy 121, that I think he reveals in this video. We'll try and skim through it maybe, that was for Rosie, daughter of Yah, and her husband, the Asian dude, who lived in the temple as recently as I think the end of last year. So that the prophecy was from 2011 or 2012, where they were having huge marital problems, and there was like, well, let me let this guy talk.
Was used to bring Amightywind to where it was and where it is now, and it actually to fallen ministry. It once was used to give God the glory, now it is fallen. Babylon has fallen.
To see this guy say it, it freaks me out.
And we also heard in prayer that Elizabeth Elijah is mystery Babylon.
To watch this group, fall so hard, the Schadenfreude is thick. I mean, this is the kind of thing that we prayed for with all the lives that were being affected, the people taken away from their families. But Torahkeeper doesn't appear to be much better, and now they're starting the ball off with some major false prophecy that they're going to have to pass, square away and explain away. Be interesting. But let's see more of what this. Look at this poor young man right here. It's like looking to the left, looking downtrodden, hasn't eaten. Give him a sandwich, Ezra.
This is something that we're cautioning you about, that these prophecies, recent prophecies that come forth, are not true. None of them are. And
he's not talking about their prophecies,
out genuine, just like the United States of America and then nations like that started out genuine, and then it became corrupt. There's no difference.
Amightywind became corrupt.
Her husband struggled with homosexuality still.
This is Rosie.
Now, note that prophecy was actually a rebuke to Rosio and her husband.
121.
Who knows if they're married still?
Who knows if they're married? He didn't care.
Has committed adultery many times. Her husband struggled with homosexuality, in which we desired to help him, but he never wanted to be free from it.
No.
And actually fell into homosexual porn.
I love how he says that. He can't even say the word homosexual porn. Listen to how he says that again. Homosexual porn.
Actually fell into homosexual porn.
It's almost like he's saying it as if he fell into it. Homosexual porn. Sam, hey, thick shades, you might have a partner here.
And we helped him. Borosio hated him, and it's just this big mess. I'm telling you, it's a big mess. And so this is something that you should know. Now, I'll start off with this. Unlike Elizabeth Elijah, if someone struggles with something, we are there to help them. Okay, it could be a word of correction, a word of rebuke. It could be a word of encouragement. Whatever Yah leads by his spirit in order for someone to be set free. This is what we do. We do not just cast off anyone. It's just like Yeshua had prophesied many years ago. He catches his fish and then he cleans them.
So I don't know how he explains away like the fact he's throwing away Elisheva and everyone that's related to her now by saying that. So I don't know.
Okay, but if someone especially has already been walking the narrow path and turns away, be very careful from that. Be careful falling into sin, because God will hold you accountable, because much has been given to you, much is expected.
And so he talks about this, and it ticks me off because he knew about all this stuff for years, about all this sin, and Rosie and her husband in particular, and lived with these people. He says that he wouldn't do that, and he has been. He will pass out. Who knows what craziness is going on in that house now? And Ezra, I don't know where Ezra is, which is pretty interesting. I wonder if he's back in Israel right now.
The life of holiness, the life of obedience.
Let's move.
Queen, almost like a Queen Jezebel that you will find on the face of this earth. I'm not speaking out of personal malice, because
he's talking about Rosie. She's like the biggest Jezebel on the face of the earth.
But literally the spirit of Jezebel consumed her. And first of all, with Jezebel, you know the spirit of lust. She actually went after one of my brothers, and in front of her own husband, told my brother, "What if God will give you a rose?"
He didn't leave the house when that happened. Maybe they kicked her out. He's not properly explaining exactly when that happened, but there's a Hispanic gentleman with a heavy Hispanic accent who claims that Rosie was hitting on him. It's a very interesting testimony. Let me see if we can spot that out. I'm going to see if I can.
Now, God used to call her a rose, and these were the words were actually put in her mouth by Elizabeth Elijah.
Let me see if I can find. Oh, wow, is there another video? They're making videos like crazy. The 3 Days of Darkness, How to Prepare. They made a ton of those videos. I'm just seeing a lot of those for the first time. That Chas guy, man, he made a cutting, biting video against Elizabeth. Let me just see if I can. He's basically, their claim is that there was infidelity, and I can't tell if it was physical, because the Hispanic gentleman never really gets there to tell us. It's sort of hinted at, like maybe they did some cyber stuff. I don't know. Let's bring him in. This gentleman right here.
Shalom. This video is to expose what goes on in churches. And
that's like the worst thing you could say about Elizabeth, is to say she's just like a regular church, the thing that goes on in churches. So he exposes Elizabeth Elijah, exposes her for knowing about the sin and letting it go. This is Rosie's sin. So Rosie, I guess, is still a part of Amightywind, and they're trying to. I want to see if I can find when he talks about Rosie and what she does.
Huge one. All right, and I'm talking to you that's gonna watch this video that remembers me on a group we used to have in Skype.
He used to be in a Skype group.
I'm not gonna mention no names, but you know who I'm talking to.
Jar of Clay, Kyla, probably.
It was like, we were like 20-something people there.
20-something people.
And then Jezebel, Rocio Hernandez, turned out to be your leader. And I'll tell you this. You just need to see the real picture, okay?
Here it comes.
So, this Jezebel married to somebody.
That Efficio Asian dude.
Who called me. She started calling me.
She started calling him.
Okay? And then setting traps. Spider webs around me to trap me. But she couldn't.
She couldn't.
She could not trap me.
But she did, he sort of says. Because
she desired
me. She desired him.
Okay? And she wanted to trap me, but she couldn't.
She couldn't.
You couldn't, Jezebel. You could not. Okay?
My favorite part of this, I saw a snippet. I wonder if he's going to get in soon, where he talks about how he knows Jezebel. He can smell it. How he used to sleep around a lot with Jezebels. That's how he knows. That was a fun part.
I knew something was wrong right there.
But
she would call me and
call him.
Put the spirit of a seductive spirit.
Ooh. Oh, then we get a cut, because maybe he said too much. Maybe he got excited and had to get one out. Pardon the expression. Sorry, Lord. But why the cut? I don't know. We'll see. What does he cut to?
If I'm made out of one of your ribs.
Oh, she said. What if I'm made out of one of your ribs? Along with
that was one thing.
What if I'm your rose?
I mean,
in front of her husband.
The other one that it just, literally spirit Jezebel, spirit of seduction, all this spirit of lust.
He didn't know what he wants to say.
She told me one day, just don't picture me naked.
Oof.
See how that spirit works, that demon.
Do you see it? This is the face of a man who clearly was not stuck in the web. You hear the sarcasm? This poor man is still affected by it. It's like, I think he needs to cut it again, because he might need to finish off part 2.
It works. When being married, when being in the ministry, in that ministry for so long, or that's one side of the coin that people see. I was seeing the other side. So beware and be warned. Those that are under her leadership, okay?
Cut again.
I mean, Jezebel would just... there's no half Jezebels, no wanting to be Jezebels. There's complete Jezebels.
It's just full on Jezebel.
She's one.
Rosie's one.
Nah, less, not... I don't know if more, but just a complete Jezebel, okay?
Don't know what that means.
And I was rebuked.
See, this is key.
Okay.
So he says he was rebuked, and I don't know if he's making a mistake here, but surely he will say January 2018, which would have been, there was a whole year. Elizabeth and Ezra didn't have their split until December. So this, if he's correct, maybe he made a mistake and it was January this year, but I don't think so. He wouldn't have been rebuked by Elizabeth. So they dealt with this for a year and lived with Rosie and the husband, as far as I can tell.
First I would pray to Yahushua, I don't want this anymore.
He first prayed, I don't want this anymore.
These calls. I don't want...
No calls.
Nothing to do with her.
But he was rebuked. Why was he rebuked?
So,
because he was participating. He got stuck in the web.
On January 9, 2018.
January 9, 2018.
That's the first time I had a phone call from Elisheva.
Phone call from Elisheva.
Because they knew what was going on. Or at least what she told them.
Now, so here's the revealing that Elisheva knew. But see, so did Ezra. That's what he's not saying. As in January 2018, it would have been Elisheva and Ezra that rebuked Rosie for her oral adultery, shall we say, but not that kind of oral. So see that we have a few viewers, I think. There is a number. You may not be able to see it that well with this video. It's 818-527. That's 818-527-4955. Maybe I'll put this guy back. You can see it there. 527-4955. You can feel free to call and join in, or talk in the comments if you want a link. Actually, I probably should just put the link in the comment in case, because I figured the only two people that would be watching this right now are Bruce and Sister Sunshine. Because we're all obsessed with this. I'm obsessed with the 3 days of darkness that's coming. Let me see if I can somehow, I don't know if I can even, oh, there's the live dashboard. So I should be able to get a link there, right? Maybe not, but in the live control room. So if you'll forgive me. Because I'd like to be able to invite people in. No, that's not helping me. Classic live streaming. Forgive me. I don't know where there's a part that I can actually share the chat with you. So it's got to be the phone number or not at all. I suppose you could Skype me too at Baseball Geeks, and you could video, and I'll try and stick you in with the with this information. So anyway, I mean, long story short, he's revealing Elizabeth Elijah and claiming that she had full knowledge of all this stuff, and she allowed the sin, and she's now fallen. He confirms that she's fallen, and it's gotten big time fighting. We have sides, and we're now at the Torahkeeper website, where you can see Urea, the goddess of urine, I guess. At the left hand of Mommy, there's God the Father. You can't see them because their heads are shiny, and that's one of the revelations that just came out too. Is Lawkeeper 101 Donovan calls himself Shimshon or whatever now. He said that Elizabeth would never show them her face, and she claimed, according to him, I wish I could find it. Maybe I can. She claimed, according to Shimshon, that she couldn't be seen. Let's take a look at some of that, because I think it's in this bedridden video, or it could be in the Do Not Donate to Amightywind ministry video. It might be the bedridden.
Shalom, once again. Shalom. Bless you. So I wanted to do another video here. And the reason I wanted to do this,
I think that's from not eating, though. Let's be honest.
Of what Yahweh is warning us about, and it's about Amightywind ministry, and it's about Elizabeth, Elijah, who used to be a prophet, who God has withdrawn from. He's taking his spirit. Just as he took the spirit away from Saul. Can you imagine
he's saying this guy saying all this? I can't believe it.
Has taken his spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, Holy Spirit, away from Amightywind ministry. You will get no meat. You only get poison there.
He's got some scarring on his forehead.
Now, once again,
they're going to claim it's
as
demon.
You see my previous video,
do you want to guarantee demon?
I was an associate minister for 10 years in Amightywind ministry. I started out, and then I became an associate minister, and I was able to see in very great detail the corruption that grew in Amightywind, coming down from Elizabeth Elijah herself. Now, what you should know, and I'll just start off saying a number of things, is Elizabeth Elijah, there's an image that she puts out there, and there is an image that is the real her. You know, most of the videos, especially the more recent videos that were done for the ministry at the time, I used me to do them. And I remember as I would do them, my heart would be, there'd be still a grieving, because there was such an image of, oh, I love. But in secret, you know, she was one who lacked a lot of love, lacked it in great abundance. She knew how to disrespect. She knew how to yell and shout and try to force her way. And so she showed that kind of behavior towards the one who was her husband, Ezra, my prophet, Yah's prophet.
That's the first time I've heard that was her husband. So now that's confirmation that I guess there's a divorce. It turns out I don't think I've seen this video, so it's juicy. We're watching it together for the first time.
Yah's Moshiach knew, and also to all those around her. Now, what you should know about Elizabeth is that she has been bedridden for about for a number of years now, lying in a bed, and this is something that we all, prayed for her for a long time to be delivered from the bed, But then we began to understand why Yahweh did this and why Yahweh allowed her to go down in that bed for so long. And we realized it was because of he knew what was going on in her heart. Now, those around her that helped her, Catherine, Grace, those that helped her, they could give you the personal experience, but I from what I hear and from what I've heard in audios that they would send, Elizabeth is a shouter. She knows how to disrespect, and many times she would actually, the young woman named Grace, she would actually like taking a knife and stab her through the soul to cause her to bleed. And Yahweh allowed her to help Elizabeth. Why would you abuse the one that's there to help you? And so those that supported and like physically supported her, knew abuse, put it that way, knew abuse, and verbal abuse especially, because she couldn't physically do anything. And I remember even an audio that was sent to a number of us. In that audio, I don't know if they had meant to include it, but you can hear Elizabeth yelling at the top of her lungs at Catherine. Well, no longer Catherine, but Catherine. I'm yelling at the top of her lungs for Catherine to do something. And to me, at the time, I was very shocked by that, because I had not fully known that part, but it was just a matter of time. During a meeting, she would yell at Prophet Ezra, her husband, like the disrespect in front of the congregation. Just yell at the top of her lungs. Definitely not a Proverbs 31 woman. Definitely not a woman that desirable, to be honest. Truly not desirable in the way of a holy woman should be.
Okay. He sort of was changing that, but you know where I think he was going. He's saying that she's not a good-looking lady. Probably that she's heavy set and all that good stuff. Let me be honest with you, what I really wanted to find out from this, and it hasn't come up, is the photoshops. There's claim that Ezra and Elizabeth consummated the marriage. I think I've heard that, so that they were together, and maybe it's Elisheva who said that she couldn't be photographed. I don't think he says that in this video. He might have said it in the other one. Like she said, basically her anointing was so great that it couldn't be, almost like the way God said to people, like, if you saw me in the face, you would die, I think. But I wanted them to reveal like the photoshops and say that body was really Devorah. I think it is. I think it's Devorah and pretending to be Elisheva, and then they photoshopped Elisheva's face on it. Maybe that'll come out. I'm not sure. Let's keep watching.
And in fact, we've heard in prayer that Jezebel has completely taken over her. This was a woman who loved to gossip. She loved slander. And she would say, I call when God tells me to call. She would say she calls. We used to speak to her about once a year. And
speak to him once a year.
And she said she would call whenever God tells her to call. Come to find out, that's not really the reason why. She would call because she had a purpose. And the purpose was to find out information, about this one, about that one, what's going on. And never truly, in so many ways, we have to grow up by ourselves until Yahweh sent or Dad Ezra to help us to actually grow up. And just one thing I wanted to share, just to start off with that, Elizabeth is not the woman that she seems. She can put out the videos, she can say this and say that, secrets that are shared with her. Oh my, Abi Yahweh, God, I praise His holy name, that Yahweh gave us someone that we can trust with problems and with issues when we need to be set free and delivered. I thank Him that He rose up, or Dad Ezra, who will truly help you. If you share a secret, meaning I don't mean secret like I'm sinning, but you want to be set free from something, just like you go to a deliverance minister, she will actually use that against you. And I remember that there was a woman named Miranda And this woman, even though at this point she's now been poisoned, this woman, I remember she repented for a sin a long time ago, repented for a sin that she committed. It was a pretty debased sin. And I remember Elizabeth writing an email saying that she disowns her as a daughter. And here's this woman crying out for help. I want the help. I want to be set free. I want to be delivered. And Elizabeth is yelling at the top of her lungs and writing emails saying, I disown her as a daughter. I have nothing to do with her. She will not call me her pastor. And it had to do with because Elizabeth had personal things in her own past that she could not get past herself. And because of that, anything that reminds her of her own past that she never dealt with, which is why she's in a bed also, to say. It was a prophecy through her own mouth about why she's in a bed because of her mind. Because of the way she treated, at the time, God's children, and Miranda especially, she felt all alone for a long time until she got the help that she needed. She literally would say, I disown her as a daughter. She will not call me pastor. And God actually rebuked Elizabeth through her own mouth for doing that. But you see, this is the kind of heart that she has. Even she presents the image of love.
3 days of darkness could be coming.
Just like the homosexuals present the image of love. It's all a game. It's all a facade.
All a facade.
So, again, I'm speaking from experience here. When she would call for a reason, for a purpose. And I begun to understand that after a while. That it was for this reason and for that reason. I'll share this for now. So I want to share this with you. Be warned. Flee from Amightywind ministry. Flee from Elizabeth Elijah. She's now a false prophet. She once was used by God, but now has become a false prophet. And this is a warning to you. Yeah, Shabasi.
There's so much here. Here's Deborah coming next, but there's so much that I want to say to that. He wanted to reveal more, it looked like, and he stopped. But he did in the same thing. Like we know about Rosie, and we know about Eficio, the Asian husband of Rosie. We know all of the details about that because he's revealed it. Like if they live together, and what he's claiming about Elizabeth, which is true, that if you revealed something to her, if you pissed her off, it was going to be known, like she did with Hannah on Amightywind, put on the website, Hannah's addiction to anime porn. I guess, with this whole thing, watching the destruction of this ministry, and trying not to have all of the Schadenfreude out there. I'm happy that it's being revealed, but I'm unhappy because a lot of these kids are still stuck. They need this. They have this incredible need for extra special recognition in heaven, rather than just being satisfied of being a child of God by repenting, changing your mind, and believing in the gospel. It's that easy. I want to go to Yah's Lady in Red, because one of the videos that I have not seen, there's a lot now that are supporting her. We took a look at the Torahkeeper thing. Now it's all her stuff, and she has videos of her children that stuck by her. You see a bunch of them. There's Moira from New Zealand. But I have not seen Sylvester's. The only thing is now I'm seeing it's 38 minutes. Maybe we can peek through and see what Sylvester has to say, because he's got to be dying. Number one, he's got to be so glad that he and his wife did not move to the Florida sanctuary where everything just went off the hook. Let's see let's see. He likes to joke. So let's see. Is he going to be joking or serious? And I think if he's serious, he's really aggrieved. But I don't know. He likes to make fun of this kind of stuff. Let's see what Sylvester has to say. Charge! Come on, Syl. Oh, I don't want to look at that Photoshop face. Come on, Syl.
Hey, all people. I mean, what's the matter? Are you afraid? There are a lot of predictions and prophecies going around right now about the 3 days and nights of darkness and the bottomless pit of hell going open and all demons being unleashed and killing everyone who doesn't obey the command of this guy who calls himself Moses, Ezra from Israel, who is a false prophet. False prophet. Okay? This man's real name is Erez Yotam. It's not Ezra. At one time, God gave him that name, Ezra, through prophet Elisheva Eliyahu, my pastor, my mom of Amightywind ministry, that he has got nothing to do with anymore at this point. Okay? We do not stand by this man. We do not stand by his lies and his false prophecies. We stand together on Mount Carmel with Apostle Elisheva Eliyahu against this false prophet of Baal, right?
He's a false prophet of Baal. Remember the last time they had Mount Carmel? I wonder, their whole last battle of Mount Carmel shtick was they were prepared to say, if we are not your holy ministry, strike us down dead. And now there's a whole side of Torahkeeper that's saying they're not a holy ministry. But that was their challenge before. Do you remember that? So let's see if Syl says, let's do the Battle of Mount Carmel and say, strike us down dead if we're not the true ministry.
Right now. My mom, Elisheva Eliyahu, has been 25 years online with Amightywind ministry, with over 140 prophecies and countless revelations and dreams and visions from heaven. Not one of them false. Now, this man comes out of the woodworks.
Now, there's a bunch of them false, actually. There's Gideon's army that she misreferenced, or that Yahuwah misreferenced. My favorite one is still Ellen DeGeneres was going to be making Oh God, the remake. Still waiting for that one. And that prophecy was, I think, 20 years ago.
And establishes his own so-called ministry with a group of people around them that worship him literally as God in the flesh. You got to understand this. Any of you out there believing this lie, okay, that 3 days of darkness are going to come on this Passover because this man has said it, you got to understand what they really believe and what kind of wacky doctrines they hold that make even the Pope look good, okay? His very first prophecy is a false one, public before thousands of people, before the world. How much blood does he have on his hands? Because what's the difference between the false rapture date setters that guarantee that Jesus is coming, is going to rapture everyone on this date and on that date, and then the date passes and nothing happens? And what happens to the people that quickly said, well, I'm doing my salvation prayer today, so I'm in, I'm going to get raptured, I'm going to go up. And when that rapture doesn't happen, why are they going to believe Yahushua, which is Hebrew for Jesus Christ, for anything else at that point? Their whole salvation was based on a lie that they believed. They're going to go right back to a lifestyle of sin, opening themselves up to a legion of evil spirits, worse off than before, transgressing all of God's 10 commandments. Because they never gave their lives to Yeshua because they truly appreciate him and what he did on the cross, receiving it, that he saved them from eternal damnation and hell. Because they want to turn away from their sins. Because they want to be in heaven with him. Because they want to live their lives pleasing unto him, serving him the rest of their days on this earth. So this man, once this is all said and done, and this is not going to happen on Passover, they got their whole biblical timeline mixed up. Okay? This man is going to have to publicly repent before the whole world of fear-mongering the people that they need to stay inside their home for 7 days, 14 days. They keep on extending it. They cannot get their minds made up even on what they're predicting. Erez Yotam comes out of the woodworks. He says, on Passover, which is April 19th, period. That's the night of Passover, sundown till April 20th sundown. Then his minions that surround him worship him as God. They're already covering him right now and changing their tune. Oh, well, we actually don't know if it's really going to be on the 19th. It could actually be any time in that week of Passover.
Well, that's good enough for me. I think they've sort of said that in the beginning. It'll be 3 days of darkness sometime during the Passover this week. There's a part of me watches this, and poor Sylvester, like, because of his wackiness, like, he's hoping that Ezra's not right, that Ezra's not correct. There seems to me like a little piece of our friend Sylvester here who's a little scared. You don't have to be scared, Sylvester. It's not going to happen. But it's not going to happen, and I know it's not going to happen for the same reason I know your mama is a false prophet.
That's what they're now saying.
The demons are coming out there.
They're already afraid that it's not going to come to pass. That's how insecure this man is. So, people, I ask you please, do not fall for this lie of surrendering your life to the Lord Yahushua Jesus Christ for the sake of this false prophecy to quickly get out of here. It's not going to happen.
You didn't say there's a
You have
rapture.
to come to Yahushua because you truly love him in spirit, in truth, because you want to turn away from all of your sins and allow him to cleanse you with his blood, and you're going to be willing to go through whatever he wants you to go through on this earth for his name's sake. You die to yourself.
Now I don't disagree with that, actually. I like when he talks gospel. He's got it all mixed up, but I don't agree that Jesus has anything to do with what they're doing. But the one question on my mind is, why is Sylvester taking the lumberjack look? Maybe the gay lumberjack look?
This is not about instant gratification, because everything about this false prophet Ezra from Israel is about instant gratification. You will be staggered once you find out what they truly believe and what doctrines they hold. You will be shocked, because you have never heard anything like it. And it's like a good tree cannot bring forth bad fruit. Neither can a bad tree bring forth good fruit.
Let's see if he gets in any juice.
When you find out
what he's going to talk about his old brother Nathan.
that they received from this man. And only they have the authority and power over all the elements of the earth.
He's about to...
Fire, wind, water. This guy believes he is God's anointed Aquaman. I'm not kidding. I'm truly not even kidding. I don't even...
It says, and he's about to condemn the wife, I shall use you as my Aquaman of holiness, my true righteous king, the rightful heir of kingdom of water, just as my Hannah is a queen of space. Both of you are walking in my line as I align both of you to my line of stars. Sounds very Mormon.
No, at the moment. Where I would have to begin to go through their doctrines, but we will. We will point it all out. But I want you to understand that if you stumbled across their videos and of this false prophet Ezra from Israel, the tricky thing is they try to make themselves look so good and they sound reasonable and they talk. They mimic the ways of Amightywind ministry and the way that we talk. The way that Apostle Elisha Eliyahu our pastor, has been used to teach us. And the way we talk and the Hebrew names, everything that they once were taught through this ministry by Elisheva Eliyahu, they now take it and they twist it. And they throw in a huge percentage of lives from the pit of hell. But the problem is the light that love each other so very.
Ooh, look at the jealousy. Here we go.
They put on their smile, and everything is all right. And they make themselves look like angels of light that love each other so very much. And they're just helping their daddy Ezra. But it's all a trick to pull you into it.
How you doing, DB? I have a lawn full of weeds with beautiful flowers. It's good.
A demonic realm of insanity that you have never dared dream of. I'm talking about their website. Now, the only reason I and others in this ministry went to that website is to study the evil that is there, to warn you. But
he's going to tell you right now, in typical Amightywind fashion, you shouldn't go there, but you must plead the blood of Yahushua to keep the demons off of you. I don't know. Let's see what he's going to say.
Not to lead you there. Please do not go there. The only reason we went there is because God gave us the authority to bind up the demons in Yahweh.
Bound up the demons. That's right. God gave them the authority. They don't have the authority to come to this channel, for instance, because God didn't give them that authority, because there's so much evil here. My world of make-believe is better than yours. Well, this one is a little crazy. You got to say, come. I haven't told you, DB Cisco, that there are 3 days of darkness that are coming. Right now, we can test their false prophecy. I just say Jesus is God, Jesus is Lord, and you should know him, DB. So here we go. Let's keep going.
Yahushua's name, and to gather the evidence of what monsters these individuals are. Do not let them fool you in their videos. Because all of these women that you see right here, and all of these men, they hate each other.
Ooh.
They have no love for each other. They were once part of Amightywind ministry until they turned their backs on Elisheva Eliyahu, who raised them in the ways of the Lord.
He says that she raised them, and Donovan just said that he would get one call a year.
Until Perez Yotam turned his back on his own wife, Elisheva Eliyahu. And you want to know why?
Here we go.
He suddenly, like a real narcissist that he is, broke all contact and started his own group and started his own quote-unquote ministry to mimic the ways of Amightywind. Everything about what they're doing is about jealousy and covetousness. Trying to steal and lure the people away from this holy ministry that has been.
He makes an interesting point, because I was wondering when Shimson, Donovan, T2 Tatu was talking about the fact that Amightywind has fallen, and it fell at a certain period of time. The new prophecies are wrong. Well, why haven't they forwarded like the 130 good prophecies and continued on with that on the website, unless they're deeply afraid of copyright infringement action by Yahuwah, or more likely Elisheva is the one that made it up. So let's kind of skim through some more. I could watch this forever. Oh, he's going to be talking about Devorah. Here we go.
Woman who is feeding him these false prophecies, and then he puts them out on YouTube as if he received them. And it's basically the same thing. She confessed repeatedly, "Mom, I'm lusting after Ezra, your husband." Little did we know that she was all doing it on purpose to hurt Elisheva. He doesn't mind.
That's some new stuff. So I guess we can see what's happening there, that Devorah, whose husband has long left the ship, that hard for flesh guy, I don't know what happened with him, but they're going to end up together, which is really hilarious to me. I'm sorry. Schadenfreude again.
That these women are lusting after him.
All of them. Wow. Even the guys, maybe.
What he does mind about is whether you eat pork or not, whether you drink, whether you mix milk and meat, and how you slaughter a chicken, and how you slaughter a goat, and how many different kind of kippas you can wear on a holy feast day, and a crown, and walking in circles around an altar, and reading for 2, 3, or 4 hours on end from a script, and no prayer lifted up to God Almighty from the heart. This is a religious, Pharisee, hypocritical, jealous man who turned his back on those who truly loved him, and Elisha Eliyahu warned him.
Now, think about this, though. This is a ministry that is God's chosen ministry. Elisha is the mouthpiece of God, and yet all this stuff is like, it was not even a year ago, this man, I'm circling him, was singing Ezra's praises. So this is all proof that whoever Elisha is talking to is not all-knowing, can't see the future, has no idea what's happening, and everything is new. Everything is a surprise. And if you're a member of Amightywind, this is what I'm trying to point out. If you're a member of Torahkeepers, Nathaniel, we'll see if we can find his prophecy. But he had a prophecy. I know I'm going to go on some tangent. Let's take a look at how many prophecies they have right now. Revelations, what do they call it? There we go. I think it's the prophecy where Amightywind says specifically that she's left Amightywind. I just now, let's find out. I want to see, I think it was Amightywind who said, like, I'm not surprised. They're calling Ezra Moshe Avnu, by the way. We don't think the same as humans. Here, see my children, nobody can surprise me, says Amightywind, for I've already seen all, for I know all, and you don't know what's in store, what I have in store for you and for my enemies. But I'll tell you, for you have things no one has seen before. This is Mama God telling them that nothing surprises her. So why was she ever involved with Amightywind in the first place? Why didn't she choose Ezra? Ezra is a little bit younger, but Amightywind and Uriah at the left side of Amightywind, and Yahuwah at the right side of Yahushua at the right side of Yahuwah. Hard to keep track. The four in the Godhead. Why didn't she know? And so if you're in these groups, why? Sorry for the Ask Lawyers thing. Why did it pop up? If you're in these groups, why did it stay over there? Why are you participating? I don't understand, because it's so clear. I think that screen might have just gone bye-bye. Sorry. I'm looking at the main screen. Let's see if I can take this off. Oh, there's thick shades. See, that's the thing. I'm reading DB Cisco. I reject Mamonite Nide's law. I don't even know what that is. Sometimes, oh, there's a new one here though. It's like live. Here's what I'm talking about with Adam. If you haven't seen him, Adam's like in a mobile home by himself.
From God, from heaven.
He's rebuking
houses
the false prophecy.
Doing.
So he and his girl, Catherine, are not together. This one came out 27 minutes ago off of Torahkeeper. Urgent warning.
Follow YouTube. This is Yamaha.
Oh man, this guy's
and I'm making
badass.
a video today in defense of Torahkeeper ministry, which is a holy ministry, where the head is Prophet Apostle Ezra, my dad, my spiritual father, my actual father, and
Ezra's his actual
against
father.
the evil, slanderous lies that are coming from Elizabeth Elijah and the Amightywind ministry, which is no ministry at all, and have gone back on the things that God has told themselves, and it's very dangerous to be caught in the Amightywind ministry. And this is what this video is for. Not only to declare and testify of the good fruit at Torahkeeper with all the holy brothers and sisters that I personally fellowship with, along with my dad Ezra, Prophet Apostle Ezra, but to also warn you of the really rotten.
All right, let's move on from this fellow and go back to Yah's Lady in Red and see if we can get back onto Sylvester. We lost that video. I just want to see where he goes and who else. Unfortunately, I'm skimming, so I'm sorry, but I want to see who he's going to put down.
Ezra, do not listen to these visionaries that surround you, that fill your mind with visions to puff you up in pride. As they saw him as a king, coronation, hail King Ezra, stacks of crowns on his head. He's going to rule over all the earth. He has received, together with Elisheva, she received in private between the two of them over 1,000 prophetic words from God. They had miracles straight from heaven happening before their eyes, as the things Elisheva was prophesying came to pass before his eyes. He knows she is a true prophet. But he prefers to surround himself with false prophets who have set him up like a golden calf to worship him. I could go on and on, but this would be a very long video, and this is a very urgent video to warn the people while there is still some time, because he was born.
All right, there's some revelation here. They're saying that Ezra claims that he was taken from the rib of Jesus. Let's see if he talks about that.
Who believes that he's God in the flesh?
Do
you understand that if he would have had the Heavenly Father Yahweh's DNA within his blood, it would mean he's like Yahushua. He would have never sinned once in his life. But as you can see, there is nothing special about him, because he was born a little boy from a sinful mortal woman and a sinful mortal man who need Yahushua as their Lord God and Savior. There is nothing special about this man or about his birth. No, Ezra from Israel, Erez Yotam, you are not God. You are a blasphemer of the first order, and you mock all that is holy. I rebuke you in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. I ask you people, do not believe these lies. Do not mock the 3 days of darkness, because that is a biblical thing, but they got all mixed up. They're even telling you right now that the name of Jesus Christ at this point in time is going to lose its power completely, and you can only call upon the name of Yahushua. Again, they take something that God...
But that's what they say. That's a blue beam rapture. Amightywind claims the same thing.
God prophesied through Apostle Elisheva Eliyahu.
So let's see.
That in the great part within him,
the Kalib within
there
him,
was meant to be a blessing to the people of God. There was meant to be a blessing to this ministry. It was meant to be standing side by side with Pastor Elisheva Eliyahu.
Maimonides was the rabbi that crafted the 613 laws in the Middle Ages. Well, those laws are mentioned in the Bible, right?
Co-leaders at one time. But no, he wanted to be the only head leader. Can you imagine that? Elisheva Eliyahu, the woman that this ministry was birthed from, the woman that taught him pretty much everything. There's so much he didn't even know when he came to this ministry about 3 years ago. But he wants to be the head leader. He doesn't want to walk side by side humbly by her. And because she does not allow him to teach the occult and chase people away over Jewish customs and religious traditions that will never lead anyone to heaven, and because she would not submit to him in allowing him to be the only leader, and basically knocking God off his throne, because the only head leader is the Holy Trinity, Yahweh, Yeshua, and Amightywind.
Let's go to Devorah.
Like this, who's leaving his wife behind, and everyone that truly loved him and warned him for the path of rebellion that he is on, to surround himself with shapeshifters, which we're all going to expose and prove in video. Do you know why the one who calls herself Devorah, Christina, why that she has that cap on in a way that you cannot even see her forehead and you can barely even see her eyes? It is because right on her forehead, physical manifestations of shape-shifting and her third eye opens.
Oh my goodness. Let's see if I can see. Because the funny thing is they use the shape-shifting and stuff. Neck, in particular, they used it on a Christian woman, Dawn, when she was condemning them. And she's an older woman, so she had what happens when you get old is the skin falls. And they were saying she had stuff on her neck. And I find it funny. This was the picture, actually. Let me see if I can show it. So she's talking about how she's hiding her head. And I want you to look at, let me see if I can just peek this over. You can see that picture of Elizabeth in the middle, where she likes to hide her neck, and she's hiding her head with some weirdo wig, by the look of it. We can look at the picture over here too that they photoshopped. That's why I wanted the secret. That's clearly not her. I think that's Devorah, the one who's lusting after him. But the hair is hiding, and it's anyway. Let's go back to the shape shifting stuff. What do you got?
They don't want you to see who they truly are. They don't want you to know what they truly believe. They believe they're going to come and destroy the earth. They have that authority, they think. They're calling plagues down upon Eliyahu, who has done nothing but lead people to Yahushua, the Son of God. They're calling down upon her the worst kind of plagues you can imagine. Erez Yotam, do you understand that you will reap what you are sowing? Do you understand that Yahweh God...
Let's see what DB says. The Ten Commandments aren't in the Bible. Read what was on the second set of tablets. The first tablets were not given to Hebrews. Moses smashed them. I'll have to double check that. Sounds somewhat familiar. I know Exodus 20 is where the commandments are listed. I don't want to get... I will look into that. If you could cite me to where the part where it talks about, I guess it would be in Exodus 19, where the first set of tablets were destroyed.
God gave Prophet Eliyahu a word after months of your rebellion and narcissism and arrogance and pride, mocking this ministry by taking what is truth and then twisting it and establishing your own so-called ministry based on lies and the occult of
something about 4. He puts up the number 4 here. It should be interesting.
In the videos, you guys talk about the Holy Trinity. You confuse the people. But when you actually find out what they really believe, they're talking about the quad family. 4 persons in God. Not the Holy Trinity, but the quad.
Come on,
calling God. They're saying God has an only begotten daughter, the sister of Yeshua.
Uriah.
And they call her Uriah.
Oh, Uriah.
And Uriah has given them all the power over all the elements and special rings to control the elements. And this guy can control the sun. And he's going to scourge all of his enemies with the sun rays. And he's third in command. Anyway, people, My main point with this video is that there's so much that could be said.
31 minutes in.
Elisheva Eliyahu, pastor, prophet, spiritual mom. I've known her for, 14 years, 15 years? I don't even know anymore. I stopped counting. She has saved my life so often. Yahushua has used her from the moment I got in touch with this ministry.
You notice how he has to correct himself. It's how they always do it. They say they don't worship her. And Yahushua is the afterthought. She has saved my life. And then he realizes, wow, I'm revealing how I idolize this woman and worship her. I need to make sure that the world knows that I really don't. But he does. And it shows in the language. He didn't say, first in his thought is not Yahushua saving him, God saving him. It is Elizabeth Elijah.
Because the prophets, the true prophets, are the eyes of the body of Yahushua, Jesus Christ. She warned me in life where the traps were when I could not see them.
She warned where the traps were where he could not see him. And she had Nicomiah, Ezra, the first husband, and whoever's coming next. He's calling for another guy from Israel. So it's Exodus 34. The commandments is given to the Hebrews through Moses. It's actually Exodus 20. So it's far before that when they're first mentioned. But let me see, just because I'm curious. And you're here, you're the only one that's talking. So, and I'm using the devilish NIV, and then I gotta go. I better go because I gotta be. We're doing Good Friday service tonight. Exodus 34, 10 to 27. I'm making a covenant with you before all your people. I will do wonders. The people you live among, obey what I command you today. I will drive out before you. Break down their arm. Do not worship. Oh, yeah, but Exodus 20. Oh, the new stone tablets. I see what you're saying. Then chisel out 2 stone tablets like the first ones, and I will write on them the words that were on the first tablets, which you broke. So he chiseled 2 stone tablets like the first ones. Went up to Mount Sinai, carried the 2 stones, then he came down and said, if I found favor in your eyes, be careful not to make a treaty, do not make any idols, celebrate the festival of unleavened bread. So we don't have to work, we can fornicate, is that what you're trying to say? So I don't see any fornication. Do not offer the blood of a sacrifice to me along with anything containing yeast. And do not let any of the sacrifice on the Passover festival remain until morning. What happened in 33? I have to read to see when he broke the first tablet. All this stuff I forgot. I haven't read that in a long time ago. Anyway, let's go back. I've got to leave fairly soon.
She prayed for me when there was no one else to pray. She ministered to me day and night. Phone calls so long I cannot even.
I'm starting to think that Sylvester has the spirit of lust for Elisheva.
15 years, 14 years, or whatever. I have never heard Elisheva Eliyahu falsely prophesy. She's always right on the spot. And why? Is it because she's God? No, but because she's humble and God uses her. And I tell you, this precious woman of God, look at the prophecies on Amightywind.com, who has never been wrong.
He cut that. I don't know what happened there.
She tells you and warns you, and we stand with her. This man, how he has been set up by the devil and turned him against this ministry, now being used as a mascot for the enemy, a mockery. No one will explain it like Elisheva herself does. I can't do it, no one else can do it, but she does it in the anointing. And you must watch those videos. And please visit Amightywind.com and read those prophecies that you need, because these monsters, they're taking the truth in these prophecies, and they
Name's
twist
Erez,
them, and they change the timeline, and they change the meaning.
Calls these sweet little
They
girls
confuse the people.
monsters.
But I tell you this, people, Yahushua HaMashiach, the Son of God, He loves you. He's warning you right now. These idiots were proclaiming that this man cannot sin. He believes he doesn't need the blood of Yahushua. He wants to go back to the old blood covenant. This is my warning to you people. Please, do not believe these lies. Please. And pray for this man. Because Elisheva prophesied it. God is speaking. Watch the videos. He is one toe away from blasphemy. Remember, he's leading people to a different God right now. To Uriah. And if you look it up, it's like the goddess of urine. Connected to urine, literally. They're adding it to the Godhead. To the Holy Trinity. If you look at what they're into, and what names that they're channeling and conjuring up, and what spirits are speaking through their mouth with their prophecies, you would end up with Greek mythology and all kinds of idolatry.
Okay, he could have talked more, I guess. Amightywind.com. Somebody else has a 3-day of darkness thing. What's happening here?
All right, YouTube is live right now, just waiting for it to pick up, and then we're going to begin. It's going to be an unbelievable morning, afternoon, evening, whichever time you are watching it. Provide and learn to trust God to provide for
there's so much craziness.
Needs.
I can't deal with it anymore. I've actually got to go. Yeah, no, there's a lot of Jesus loves you unless you disagree with me. That's the big problem I have with Amightywind. It's not like which crazy version of theology I believe in. It's like this particular group, and I don't know how familiar you are with them, DB Cisco's, they were actually tearing up existing families. And to hear them do it again, especially a family that Elizabeth had put together. So some of these people, like their webmaster, Victory and Yahushua or something, he was married, he had children, he lived in South Africa. She said that his soulmate was actually somebody else. He left his family to go there. Some of them who were the wives will not agree that Elisheva is this amazing prophet. She would instruct them to leave them, and then include it if they had children. And some of them, fortunately, they saw the light, and that's why I started this channel, to help that. And this kind of event that's happened now, this crazy civil war that's going on, I think that I think it's going to help more people come out of it. At least I hope. But if you watch this Torahkeeper stuff, it's great. Read the prophecies. It's insanity. I like you too, Cisco. I never argued with you. You just, like, the one time you got upset with me, Cisco, I didn't even know where it came from. It was like I think I was talking to somebody about the gospel, and then you said I was like Sam. I was like, that was like the worst thing you could say to me, because I don't evangelize like Sam. I don't use the word idiot when I try and tell people about Jesus, for one, so that was offensive. YouTube Coven, they say that I'm a part of that. So anyway, I'm sorry that this was, because there's a lot of these videos that I hadn't seen, so I didn't want to be too boring. It turned out that it probably was, but I watch this stuff, so maybe you don't have to. That what's going on right now is absolute insanity. Look for the 3 days of darkness. I want to do with Bruce, if you watch this, or if you're watching, I want to do a play-by-play. This is the Passover hasn't started yet. It's starting at sundown tonight. But man, we've got to fix, especially if the 3 days of darkness comes. They're saying that you better put the locks on your doors and tinfoil, no kidding, tinfoil, you think I'm joking, on your windows for radiation. The demons are coming out of portals, and people are going to die. A lot of people are going to die. And as Nathan said, as I was starting this, he said that it'll never be the same. Life will never be the same after this 3 days of darkness. This week, the whole course of history is about to change. Unless Ezra is a false prophet. We'll see. I already prayed to God Uriah earlier in this video. You may have missed it. Certain things trigger me, Cisco. Certain things trigger me too. It's not a problem at all. That's why, the one thing that triggers me the most is whenever I hear my favorite Korean man. Whenever there's anything that can possibly reference him on, actually YouTube. Every time I get on YouTube, I think like his stench and stickiness like sticks with me, and I don't know. That's why I like to stick with maybe some Amightywind stuff. So take care. Sorry I triggered you, Cisco. Hopefully it won't happen again. I'm going to read some Exodus. I haven't gone through the whole Bible from page 1 in a long time, and I don't remember. I think the last time I read through Genesis, like actually cover to cover, was probably or and beginning of book to end of book. It's probably been at least 5 years, and things like totally slip when you think about the new tablets. I don't think the original tablet was taken away, but I want to look and explain why. That is, be interesting to hear what Amightywind has to say about that, because they've never mentioned that. They say that you need to follow the 10 commandments of Exodus 20, not anything related to Exodus 34. They like those better, I guess. They're easier to follow. But in any event, I'll take a look at that. Time for me to head out to Good Friday service. And if you don't know Jesus, check him out. I know Cisco, I think you think he's a good dude or something. I'm not sure. But thank you for watching, and I'll be chatting with you all soon. As soon as new stuff comes up, it's going to get crazy. It's going to get crazier because now we've got people and faces, and there's going to be attack stuff and move. It's going to be, especially after this week. So stay tuned. Let's see which side wins. Which side does Yahuwah prefer? Now the Torahkeeper claims that Amightywind is gone. Wow. We could do, Cisco, if your game, we could do an actual from page 1 Bible reading and see who comes along with us. I tried to do that once, and we got through most of Genesis, and then it just fell. But if someone was really willing to do it and hold me accountable, and then we could try and just get through it at our own pace, that'd be awesome. You don't like Christ so much? Why? Because you just keep hearing it in the Korean language. Anyway, we'll talk more about that. Peace to y'all. Talk to you soon. Happy Easter and all that good stuff. And hopefully I'll see you on Bruce's new channel. I'm not even going to say what it is. That's what it is. So it's like the Voldemort of YouTube channels. You're not going to get me to say God's name in vain, Bruce. Take care. God bless. Talk to you later. Adieu.